Welcome back to the Cozy Cottage Homestead. Everybody did just fine on the homestead with the storm that we had. Nobody was harmed, and as far as I know, no animals were harmed. We, however, did have a couple of trees come down, and the little duck pond is full of water, so they could not be more excited. Now let's walk over here and show you what I was talking about with those big old tall pine trees that were too dangerous to cut down because the tops had already started going bad. And when you try to cut down the pine tree that's that tall and the tops fall out of it, it could fall on you and kill you or your animals or just cause all kind of problems. And in order to have them cut down, just to have someone come out and put them on the ground was going to be anywhere between $5,000 to $7,000 per tree. And we definitely have two that need to be taken down. So let's walk over here and show you what I'm talking about. So these are the two pine trees that got struck by lightning a little while back. I think I told y'all about them, that they were going to need to come down, and they're really, really, really tall. Well, this one here you can see looks kind of naked, right? Well, the top did get blowed out of it during the storm today. I kind of thought that maybe it would. It was the one that got struck by lightning first. And I just prayed about it and said, Lord, I know it's probably going to fall, and it's got to fall. It's starting to get bad off. Please just don't let it crush any of my animals or fall on any of us when we come out here to feed the animals. And just stay completely away from this area during the storm. We most definitely did get 80 to 90 mile an hour gust of winds. A bunch of really crazy stuff. I was actually wondering if my little house was going to blow away or if any other trees were going to blow down on anything. So it doesn't look like much, right? So let's drop it on down and show you what happened to the duck house and the chicken coop, and then I'll pause it and go in there a little closer and tell you a little more about it. So the yellow one is the chicken coop. It's been there about 15 years. One limb went across the top of it sideways and about 1.5 feet in from the fascial board there. And this was a covered, fenced in chicken yard area. So if it was rainy or bad weather, we could let them go in there, but yet not let them out completely into the yard for predators or whatever, just to make them have a little run, so whenever locked up at night they still could get out. But we always let them out in free range. But this was the duck house slash goose house, and it is demolished. Let me back on up to show you a better view, if I don't fall and trip over some of these pine cones. Now you can see quite significant mess here to clean up. I already started picking it up. You know us country people, we can't stand to see something messed up for too long. So I'm already been out here pulling on the little limbs that I can possibly get to. So yeah, quite just completely demolished. But you know, the Lord has plans, and we actually had plans to build us another chicken coop because that one was getting kind of old. But nevertheless, we did plan on having these trees cut out. Just have not been able to get to it yet, and of course it's just extremely expensive to do so. And now this one's not as dangerous to cut down because the top is, well, all over the place. So let's go inside and let me tell you a little bit more about what's going on inside the duck slash goose house. So this was the back part that was still attached to the tree. I'm going to show you how big the tree is here. It is quite big. The goats have knocked most of the bark off of it, but it is a huge pine tree. We guessed it to be about maybe 65, 70 foot tall. And this kind of tells you how long it is. I'm guessing it's probably about 25 feet right here to the edge of the back of the duck slash goose house. That's the chicken coop. You can see on top there's a limb that fell down and fell across it and messed up the tin on it as well. But y'all see my little gander right there? He's quite upset. Miss Swan is in that corner right there, and I'm going to walk closer. So now I'm going to sneak over here into this corner right here and show you on the inside. And you're probably not going to be able to see. Let me see if I can move the phone. In that very farthest corner right there, Miss Swan is sitting on eggs. And believe it or not, there is another about 18 to 20 foot piece of that tree that fell and crushed in the roof. And she is still sitting in that corner on her eggs. Absolutely amazing. I thought for sure she was not going to make it, that she was going to be, when I came out here, she was going to be crushed. But the log, literally, from the top of the tree, fell about 6 inches or so right beside her and just crushed the whole entire top of the house out completely. And she's underneath that greenery in the corner. I'm going to try to get a better angle here in a minute, but to show you how close it was to her. And you can see it's just demolished and how big it is as well. And this is just another view from a distance from where the tree was, and it's about probably about 6 foot from there to there, and then it hit the ground, made a hole. And I guess when it hit the ground, the top broke off, or when it hit the top of the coop or something, it broke in half and was in the ground a little bit, and then it popped back out on its own. I have not touched any of this stuff right here, but up there where that Y is where it broke off at. And now let's go around to the front and give you a little bit closer to view. So this is the front gate where we would normally walk into the coop right here. And as you can see, all this stuff is completely crushed down. There's a lots more of the top all over the place. We'll have to get in here with a tractor or something, chainsaw. Completely crushed a little run on the chicken coop right there, which is fine. No one got killed as far as I know. I don't think there's anyone in here crushed or anything. So this is on up in here. So when I come out here to check on her, that's what I found. It looks like she's only about 6 to 8 inches. At first I thought it was a little bit closer, but the tin that broke and stabbed straight into the ground, several inches right there, is only about 4 inches from her face. And that right there in the bottom, you can kind of see where the green is. See if I can zoom in. That's actually the part of the tree. Some of that was the rafters, but you can see the greenery right there where it's sticking out at. That's actually the tree behind that piece of tin, diagonal right there. And she got off the nest for a little while. She was, of course, freaked out. There were also a few guineas and chickens that came in here, and ducks, to get out of the weather like they usually do. But Miss Swan, my white goose, she looks horrible right now, y'all, but she made it. She has been a trooper. I don't think she's got anything happened to her or whatever, besides just probably scared the living heck out of her, scared the living heck out of me, because she was all the way in this corner right here. And, I mean, literally, y'all, that's amazing. You can see the tree better now that I zoomed in. She is dirty. She has been through it. She has not left those eggs. Just been a trooper. So they were kind of trapped in here. They could still get out under the bottom. Let me back up a little bit of the gate, even though it's bowed out. Let's see. It was open right here, so they could get out. All the chickens and stuff ran out, and the other ducks ran out. But she was still kind of like stuck in that corner. So we had a piece of tin under this piece of tin on the side, and because it was still storming, we just unscrewed that piece of tin and put it up on top right here while she was still sitting on those eggs, so she wouldn't be getting wet. But I'll just tilt the camera down. I can't see, so y'all can see. I can't stand up that tall, but you can kind of see. And you can see on top of the chicken coop over there that all of this was roof, and it's all gone. And she's still down there in the corner. So this was a piece of tin, an old piece of plywood right there from years ago. The goats chewed on it, so we covered this spot right here. Let me zoom out. With a piece of tin and have wire on the inside, and you can see where the wood was chewed. So I cut the wire right here so that she can come in and out. And I'm going to squat down here and get a little closer so y'all can see how close it was to her. And she stayed here, and it was raining on her until we put that extra piece of tin. And that was the little gap that I was telling y'all that they could get out and go around. And where the tree came through all over, I found a couple of spots where the limbs just like literally were like daggers stabbed into the mud. But everybody seemed to have gotten out of the way and stayed safe. So now we just have a nice mess to clean up. As far as I know, there's no chickens or anybody underneath there. I'm going to walk over here and show you on top. Yeah, and now you can kind of see. It was a big top of a tree. And we don't have to worry about it anymore. Now we just have to clean it all up and start working on some plans for a new goose house slash duck house. And I guess the chicks in the coop DeVille, it's done its job. Let me tell you, I'm surprised that it didn't completely just go ahead and cave in too. But I'll go in there in a second and show you how it damaged it on the inside. But praise the Lord, everybody did good. Our house is fine. Our neighbor's house is fine. Our barn's fine. All the animals are fine. Miss Swan just had a rough go, and she was not going to leave those eggs. I am so proud of her and so happy that she did not get squished in that corner. It was just a miracle that she survived. And then this was kind of fell down at an angle. Then we put that other piece of tin, see if you can see it, that was screwed on the side on top because it was still storming whenever it happened. So she was just going to lay in there and getting rained on. And so we just made a makeshift little thing to put over her so that she wouldn't be getting rained on anymore. Now let's go ahead and walk on inside the coop and show you what I'm talking about in there. Well, this is on the other side of the coop by the gate where we usually walk in at. My little sign's gonna go bye-bye. An egg a day keeps the butcher away. But I'll probably paint me another one on there. So y'all have seen the inside of the coop before, and I've already come in here and got the eggs. And believe it or not, they still laid 14 eggs. So all of this looks good, other than you see some greenery right there and some bark. And then right here, and it goes all the way across. This was one sheet of tin. You can see how it just literally, when that limb fell across there, it just sliced it. And then we have another beam right here that got broke. It's probably very unstable, but you know, I'm going to be in here checking on my animals. So I think we can probably push some of that up, but we're just going to go ahead and use it for a little bit longer and retire it. And that was another one of my signs that I had inside the chicken coop from many, many years ago. So, oh yeah, and of course, my son's initials. My son has this thing that he does not want me to forget him. That boy has wrote his initials. I have found it on furniture, up underneath the bottom of stuff, on cabinets, in closets, on appliances in the back, places that you wouldn't think to look, just wherever he could think of. He wanted to put his initials. Believe me, I would never forget my son. So I'll probably take a picture of some of this stuff just because sentimental value. But we're going to keep using it like it is for right now. Kind of strange to see daylight sticking out from there. Now let me give y'all a peek out this little window. And I did have the window shut because it was high winds. Yes, they're just chickens. And used to you could look out there and see the geese. But when you look out there and see what we see now, the top of a pine tree. So, it's still going to serve its purpose for now, because I am frugal. Everything else is good. Now, you can see the chicken wire right here. it was all where I could walk underneath it and go into a small little courtyard there, but, you know, out with the old and in with the new. Like I always say, it could have been a whole lot worse. So the Lord definitely answered my prayer. No one got harmed. No one got hurt. As far as I know, nothing's underneath the bottom of the duck/goose coop. So, thanks for joining me today, and thanks for your prayers. And I hope everyone else is having a better day than we had today. But the Lord did keep us all safe. So, farewell from Farewell. Oh my goodness, I am drawing a blank and I am not editing it out. Farewell, Homestead family, friends, and neighbors from the Cozy Cottage Homestead.